guys, how's everyone doing today? I hope good. I wanted to share a couple messages with you, some positive things, some things to ponder. I pulled some cards before I came on here. So one of them is the high vibe card, and it's laughter. Laughter instantly shifts a situation or environment into a higher vibration. Hang out with kids, watch a comedy, or just start laughing. If nothing else, start with a smile. So I pulled that right off the bat, and I do that. Anyone that knows me knows I'm always laughing. I'm always looking for something funny, and I have a kind of a dark sense of humor sometimes, but there's also a lot of people that have the same. But that's why I share the funny memes and a lot of stuff like that, because I'm trying to keep people laughing because it's really healthy. And then in the cards, the Mindful Oracle cards, two of them fell out. And this one was listen. You are being asked to listen to your inner voice. It's been guiding you to do something or say something, and it's time to act on its wisdom. And this one is resolution. Whatever it is that you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. This one, I don't know if you guys can even see, I'm always trying to show you the cards. The best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. You know I talk about mindfulness all the time. And this is the dragonfly magic. Dragonflies are my favorite. When I was a little girl, I grew up with a big field behind my house. And I used to run around out there chasing dragonflies and butterflies around, catching frogs, all that kind of stuff. And the one day, my grandmother is Polish, and her grandfather was in Poland. Her father moved to Pennsylvania and worked in the coal mines, and that's where she had been born. But I had told her about the dragonflies, and I don't know if it's some old Polish belief that she had, but she had said, ooh, make sure you're careful with those because they're going to try to sew up your ears. She used to tell me the weirdest things, and she did her best, and thank God for her, because I wouldn't be here or the person that I am if I didn't have her for those, years of my life when she raised me. But she had some wacky things that she used to tell me, so no wonder I'm the way I am. But I just wanted to share that. I thought that was funny. It's going to sew up your ears. Why would you tell me that? So dragonfly magic. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. So again, I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is within me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. So that's a nice affirmation to repeat. And I talk about, affirmations and belief clearing and holding on to those self-sabotaging stories and all the stuff that I talk about here that we all do. The stories that we were told about ourselves that we chose to believe. That's the self-sabotage. That's the limiting beliefs. The things that aren't true. I'm not smart enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not thin enough. And then the things that we beat ourselves up with. I'll never lose weight because I always fail. I'll never find the love that I'm looking for. I'll never have this. All of that is limiting beliefs. And a lot of them might have been just something that happened to us even in our childhood, and it rewired our brain, and we told ourselves that so many times that we started to believe it, and it became a part of us. And that's part of the problem, is we walk around thinking we are this. Well, that's just me. I don't know how many times I've said it myself. That's just me. No, it's not. What's you is having a little self-awareness, little mindfulness, and change those thoughts. Don't just say, well, that's me. Well, I'd never lose weight because that's just me. Things like that. Those are limiting beliefs. And I say it all the time, we have more control over our thoughts than we think we do. And once you're hearing this message from me right now, you're going to remember that when you start to think about something negative, you're going to hear my voice. Christine said, I need to, talk to it. Just like we listen to those voices all the time, blah, 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 blah. We talk to ourselves all the time. We all do. But next time that thought comes up, you're getting ready to do something to go in for a big raise or, whatever. And then you're like, well, I never get the raise, and I'm probably not good enough, and someone else is probably going to get the raise. Those are all limiting beliefs. So as you're getting ready to walk in that door, or you're sitting there waiting, and as all those thoughts are a job interview, when those thoughts come up, you're going to stop them and say, bullshit. I'm smart. I'm successful. I have a good personality, all of these different things and the traits that that they're going to be looking for, or that you have, and that's going to make you shine. Find the truth about yourself and not all of the negative, false beliefs that you carry around with you. That's what sabotages everything in our lives. I actually took a couple notes, and I talk about that, the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are and what's possible and what's not. It's a story. We're able to rewrite that story. They feel real and logical to us because we've carried them around so long, but it doesn't mean they're facts. You can't believe everything we tell ourselves because our subconscious believes everything. They don't know what's true, and our subconscious doesn't know what's false. It doesn't know the difference. It just knows what we told it. So if you're constantly telling it something negative, you're going to start believing that. And what happens is, and I wrote that somewhere on here, sorry, I have like a hair going in my face, that a lot of our choices and reactions are unconscious, that we don't even realize they're happening, especially if you grew up and were wired, during trauma, childhood trauma. When our brains are being developed in all those years, if you're going through chronic trauma, it's going to be a lot harder for you to work on these beliefs and all of that because you've been probably carrying them around most of your life, like me, literally 58 years, even though I knew better. I posted, our memories come up on Facebook back in 2009 and 12 and all these different years. I'm seeing these positive quotes, about thinking positive and changing thoughts. I used to write about all of this or post about it years ago, and I never applied it to myself. I saw it and I wanted to believe it, but I was so, filled up with all that negativity that those positive thoughts just had nowhere to go. It wasn't until I had my breakdown, I wrote my book, I started this healing journey, and that's when I came up with Whispers of the Wounded Soul, so that I could take other people along this journey with me, because I know I'm a friendly, open person. I'm very approachable, and I've always been. I've had complete strangers come up to me, even at jobs, especially if I'm in an office type job where someone is sitting across the desk from me. I've had people tell me their life stories. And the more I think about it, a lot of what they told me was trauma and things that I've even been through. At that moment, in the position I was in, it wasn't okay for me to say, oh, and share my story then. It wasn't appropriate at that moment. But the point is, there are so many people out there, and that's why I stress all the time, too, to please follow me. Follow my YouTube channel. Follow my Facebook page for Whispers of the Wounded Soul. Like something, if it resonates with you. If you don't like or believe or care about any of this, then I get that. But if you do, the way Facebook and YouTube and all of this stuff is out there now, the more people, the more followers, the more they're going to put my content out there. But right now, to be honest with you, if some of you even look, there's very, very few people. There's a lot of people finding me and telling me I'm helping them, which is amazing. But what hurts is there's so many other wounded souls out there that don't realize they're not alone, and don't realize that there's hope for all these limiting beliefs and all of this self-sabotage and all of that negative talk that we listen to day after day, in our own heads. There's ways to clear that. There's ways to actually start living a peaceful, happy life. I'm still struggling. I'm not healed. I have a long way to go. We're all going to heal all the time because there's always going to be something to heal from. Life's going to happen to us. It's part of life. That's life's life. It depends on how you react to it and how you process things. becoming aware and mindful is the key to healing yourself, because you can stop those thoughts immediately and say, no, I'm not going to talk this way about myself. You wouldn't talk to your best friend like that. You might want to be honest with them if something, for health reasons, like, hey, looks like you gained a little bit of weight. If that's your friendship, you know what I mean? Or, hey, you're getting ready to make this decision, and you've done this before, and you know where this leads you. Stuff like that. You're talking to a friend, and you're kind of trying to wake them up. But eventually, you start to think those thoughts yourself. Hey, that's what I say to look for when you're journaling. Look for patterns, look for cycles. How many times do you keep repeating the same thing? And I just said that years ago. I always end up in the same situation. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Right there, the self-sabotage talk. Because I'm always doing this, and I never, so I need to stop that, and and say I make good choices, and I make choices that serve my higher good, and I make choices that are the higher good for everyone, that don't hurt anyone else, and all of that. It's all the limiting beliefs, the self-sabotage, the belief clearing is all about that parts of our brain, our subconscious, who doesn't know the difference between what's truth and what's not. And that's the part that's beating us up, and that's the part that we need to let them know, or let it know, we're not accepting that anymore. That's not our belief anymore. Louise Hay from the Hay House Publishing talks about filing cabinets, that we have these filing cabinets of all these beliefs. And if you think about it, when you beat yourself up with the same belief, especially if it's going on since childhood, when you have positive affirmations and positive things come into your head, it doesn't even know where to file it because it's not used to hearing it. You need to release a lot of the files that don't serve you. There's things that I carried years back too. When I was like 19 years old, I had a car. I was married, and we got a really nice car. It was used, but it was, our first car. I had guilt around having that car whenever I drove it, because my mom was in a really bad situation. And then I would think, how am I sitting here driving this nice car, having this good job, and my mom's, homeless? It's in my book. She was. So I was carrying around guilt for her, for decisions that she made and chose to, that put her in that situation. Now I'm learning that she didn't have control over all of those choices, and she had even said that to me before she passed away. I have a lot of mental issues, and I'm so sorry for everything. It's not an excuse when you can turn those things around and not use them to continue to drag yourself or anyone else down. I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you, because people still ask me about the limiting beliefs. So just to kind of wrap it up and make it simple and make this quick for you, limiting beliefs are deep-rooted thoughts we accept as truth, but they actually stop us from moving forward in life, whether it's writing a book, losing weight, healing emotional wounds, or stepping into who we truly are. These beliefs often come from early experiences and stay in our subconscious. So even when we know what we want to do, the subconscious keeps us stuck with that familiar pattern. That's where belief clearing comes in and helps to uncover and release those subconscious beliefs so we can live with more freedom, confidence, and alignment. So belief clearing, becoming aware of the beliefs, being able to turn those thoughts around, and also clear the negative ones that we no longer want. And a lot of that is shadow work. And I have a companion journal that comes with my book, or that you can order alongside, or you could just journal yourself. Get yourself a journal or a composition book and just start writing, what beliefs you feel like are limiting you and why you're carrying that belief, and how has that belief, served you in your life or not served you. And then, how I can release that belief by just saying goodbye to it. I don't need you anymore. You're not true. You're not real. You don't serve me. And that's it. Things that are wounds and deep memories that we can't ever let go of, you just have to start. Eventually you will learn to stop those as well. Grief, a loss of something or someone. You have to remind yourself that right now it's today. You don't have tomorrow. Yesterday's gone. Right now is what I have. I need to make the best of where I'm at. If it's grief because of a loss that we've had, like a loved one, remember that they wouldn't want you to live miserable. They would want you to be happy. I cannot imagine anyone looking down and saying, well, how dare you try to move on with your life and be happy. They want to see us actually live and not just exist. Trust me. So, yeah, that was my little message for today. And then I just wanted to share the dragonfly magic. I embrace my transformation. I continuously let go of the past, and the magic of nature is within me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will be back. Thanks.